WLBT First Alert Weather Plus is sponsored by Strength Roofing and Siding. Weekdays, stream First Alert Weather Plus.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us.
WLBT's First Alert Weather team is keeping you up to date with the latest information from your morning commute to your afternoon drive. We're on your side weekdays, streaming on your favorite devices. WLBT First Alert Weather Plus is sponsored by Strength Roofing and Siding.
WLBT's First Alert Weather Team is committed to your safety with 6 hours of continuous team coverage.
This is a relentless storm, Dave.
We're fortunate we all made it out alive.
And our network of sky cams across the state alerting you to danger, bringing you live footage of tornadoes as they touch down in Wathau County.
Look at this, Chase. Guys, look at that.
This is ground zero almost. I mean, this is really hard to stomach, like I said.
We take our commitment to being on your side seriously, and together, we're Mississippi Strong.
WLBT First Alert Weather Plus is sponsored by Strength Roofing and Siding. Weekdays, stream First Alert Weather Plus.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us.
WLBT's First Alert Weather team is keeping you up to date with the latest information from your morning commute to your afternoon drive. We're on your side weekdays, streaming on your favorite devices. WLBT First Alert Weather Plus is sponsored by Strength Roofing and Siding.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Thursday. We're almost to the holiday weekend, but it is feeling a little bit muggy out there and also still dealing with some isolated showers. So we're going to continue with this wet weather pattern heading into the end of the work week and for this weekend. So expect some isolated showers to continue later this evening. However, as we wake up tomorrow morning, it looks relatively dry, not completely dry, but it does look like we get a little bit of a break for your Friday morning commute. And then as the day goes on, still dealing with some isolated showers and a few rumbles of thunder, still not tracking a severe threat. So a little bit of silver lining for us. However, it still could be impactful, especially if you're going to head out on the road for any Memorial Day traveling. So just keep that in mind for Friday as well as going into Monday of next week. So as we get into the overnight hours, rain really starts to taper off, looking relatively quiet for Saturday morning. Saturday, I think, is going to be our best bet to get a little bit of a longer break between when we see scattered showers and a few thunderstorms develop. So it looks to stay relatively dry until we get to mid to late afternoon, early evening for your Saturday. So still looking at some scattered shower potential, but it does look like at least the first part of your Saturday. Now the time frame looks to be shifting a little bit more, so the first half rather than the second half, but nonetheless could still see that shift. However, I think it will be welcome to have a nice little break from the rain going into at least part of your Saturday. Then we get to the overnight hours, early Sunday, and then more rain on the way for the afternoon. So again, first alert to our next big thing, which is going to be more rain on the way for the rest of your Memorial Day weekend. That does include Sunday, and then once again on Monday afternoon, something to keep in mind, especially if you're going to be traveling home from any of the Memorial Day traveling that you've been doing. So it does look to be pretty impactful all across the deep south. So that's just something to keep in mind as well. Now, we're not getting rid of the rain. Unfortunately, most of next week is still going to be pretty wet. So the summer-like weather pattern sticking with us for the last few days in May. And with all that being said, we could be talking about 3 to 6 inches of rain. One model being a little bit more aggressive in the totals, but again, this isn't going to be falling all at the same time. It's going to be over the course of the next 7 to 10 days. This goes all the way out to Sunday of next weekend. So it still is going to be a nice thing to see, considering our drought monitor actually has worsened a little bit. This is our new update from today. Now, it does show some areas under that extreme drought once again in the lower delta. It does stretch all the way into the metro here, but I do think we're going to see a drastic change once again, but in a better, I would say, stance when we factor in the amount of rain we've seen this week. So I think it definitely will look a little bit better when we get next week's update. But until then, it does look like it's worsened just a little bit, but mainly areas north of I-20. However, I will say one thing that looks to be constant over the next 7 to 10 days is our temperatures. We're going to be in the low to mid 80s, which is just a few degrees below average, although with the amount of moisture in the air, it's probably going to feel very soupy outside, if you will. So definitely summer-like weather expected for the unofficial start of summer, and then continuing into much of next week, even for the week after. So that's pretty much what we're tracking, a relatively constant forecast, if you will. Still dealing with scattered showers off and on. So moral of the story is just keep the umbrella with you over the coming days, and that again does include for your Memorial Day weekend. So just looking at a quick check of chat. Hello, Seth. I'm doing great this afternoon. Jaden, can you check tornado energy? There really isn't any. We don't really have to worry about that with these showers. They're not going to be tornadic. We may not even see really any severe thunderstorms. That's not to say that that's for certain, but not looking very likely over the course of this weekend and into next week. So, and hello, Savannah. Good afternoon. Yeah, that's pretty much what we've got for you. So we'll have another update in obviously our later newscast at 4:30. Dave will be on at 5, 6, and 10 tonight, and then another update here at 6:30. So until then, have a great rest of your Thursday afternoon.